Is AI making us smarter or slowly making us dependent? A recent study from MIT and the University of Pennsylvania has triggered a wave of debate with one bold conclusion. Using AI makes you stupid. At least, that's what the early data suggests. This video explores how popular tools like ChatGPT might be quietly rewiring your brain, weakening memory, reducing critical thinking, and reshaping how we engage with information. We'll break down the research, look at the neuroscience behind it, and help you understand the very real risks of letting AI do the thinking for you. Because while AI can save time, it may also be costing us something we can't afford to lose: our minds. Let's begin with a study that's shaking up how we think about AI and the human mind. This research was spearheaded by experts at MIT's Sloan School of Management and the University of Pennsylvania, institutions well known for their contributions to both behavioral science and technology ethics. The study's aim was to go beyond surface-level productivity metrics and actually measure how human cognition changes when we rely on artificial intelligence, specifically AI chatbots like ChatGPT, to perform mental tasks. Participants in the study were given two sets of challenges: writing tasks and reasoning problems. In one scenario, they completed the tasks on their own. In the other, they were allowed to use AI assistants. But what made this study particularly compelling was that it didn't rely solely on subjective results or survey data. Instead, researchers used electroencephalography, or EEG machines, to monitor the participants' brain activity in real time. This gave them a direct physiological look into how the brain responds during these activities, with and without AI help. The findings were not just surprising, they were alarming. Participants who used AI assistants showed significantly lower levels of neural activity in the areas of the brain linked to critical thinking, working memory, and language processing. These are the very systems we rely on when we write an argument, solve a complex problem, or think deeply about a topic. In essence, when the AI was doing the work, the participants' brains stepped back, becoming more passive, less engaged. This wasn't just about speed or efficiency. It was about how much mental effort people were willing to invest when AI was readily available. The results suggest that people don't just delegate the task, they also delegate the cognitive responsibility that comes with it. That's a critical distinction, because what you don't use, you start to lose. Lead author Renee Goslin put it succinctly: AI can act as a cognitive shortcut, but overuse may impair mental engagement. In other words, these tools are efficient, but they come at a cost. If used sparingly and intentionally, AI can support creativity and problem solving. But when AI becomes the default, when we start reaching for it before even thinking through a problem ourselves, our brains don't get the workout they need to stay sharp. And just like muscles that weaken from lack of use, the brain can atrophy in certain functions if it's consistently bypassed. The study raises important concerns about the long-term effects of habitual AI use, especially among students and knowledge workers who may be relying on these tools daily. This isn't about whether AI is good or bad. It's about understanding its impact on our mental wiring and asking, are we outsourcing too much of our own cognition? Why does this matter? Because AI tools like ChatGPT are no longer niche. They're embedded into daily life. Students use them to write essays. Workers use them to draft emails, summarize meetings, and write code. Even journalists, marketers, and academics are leaning on AI to streamline research and content creation. On the surface, this seems efficient, but underneath, we might be outsourcing more than just labor. We could be outsourcing thinking itself. Imagine going to the gym, but letting someone else lift all the weights for you. You still show up, you still spend time there, but your muscles don't grow because they never had to work. That's what AI overuse can do to your brain. It keeps you busy but disengaged. You feel productive, but your cognitive muscles get weaker over time. And that's especially concerning for young people. Students, in particular, are at risk because they're still developing core skills like analytical reasoning, attention control, and written communication. If AI tools become their default for problem solving, they may not build the mental endurance needed for complex thought in adulthood. What starts as a shortcut could become a crutch, and that's a long-term liability. Professionals aren't immune to the cognitive risks of overusing AI. In high-stakes fields like law, medicine, and finance, accuracy and judgment are critical. Becoming too dependent on AI tools in these areas can weaken oversight. A misinterpreted clause, an incorrect medical recommendation, or a flawed financial projection can all have serious consequences. The study found that people were less likely to double-check AI-generated content, especially under time pressure. When we stop questioning AI just because it sounds confident, it's not just a bad habit. It's a potential liability. From a neurological perspective, the researchers observed reduced activity in the prefrontal cortex, the brain's hub for decision-making, focus, and planning. They also saw decreased engagement in the temporal lobes, which are key to language comprehension and memory. This suggests that when AI is doing the work, users aren't just skipping effort, they're absorbing less information and may struggle to retain what they read or generate. That doesn't mean AI use is automatically harmful. The study makes it clear. The impact depends on how we use it. When users actively engage with AI by questioning, refining, or comparing its responses, they keep their brains in gear. But many users don't interact this way. Instead, they accept AI suggestions without challenge, especially when the answers are presented with clarity and confidence. The problem is, AI confidence doesn't equal accuracy. In professional environments, this over-reliance could erode critical thinking over time. That's why the researchers stress balance. AI is a useful tool, but it shouldn't replace human oversight. Used well, it can support judgment and productivity. Used carelessly, it can let important errors slip through the cracks. This leads us to a broader concern: epistemic laziness. That's the tendency to believe something simply because it's easy or seems authoritative. With AI, the illusion of expertise can override your internal filter. You stop questioning, you stop exploring, you stop thinking critically. Over time, that becomes the new default, and it's a dangerous one. Ethically, this raises big questions. Should tech companies be doing more to encourage critical engagement with AI tools? Should apps like ChatGPT include prompts that promote reflection, or even limit usage during certain cognitive tasks? And how should schools and workplaces respond? Right now, most policies focus on plagiarism or misinformation, but few address the deeper issue: mental dependency. Not everyone agrees with the "AI makes you stupid" framing. Some argue that these tools can enhance productivity, reduce cognitive overload, and support neurodiverse users who struggle with traditional tasks. And to be fair, there's truth in that. For some users, AI is empowering. It levels the playing field. But the key distinction is intentional use versus passive dependence. If AI is used as a thinking partner, it can expand your capability. But if it becomes a substitute for your own cognition, it undermines your growth. The MIT study doesn't say we should ditch AI. It says we need to understand its effects and use it consciously. Like any powerful tool, the benefits come with risks. So what can you do to protect your mind in the AI era? First, practice active AI use. Don't just copy and paste. Ask follow-up questions. Challenge the output. Use AI as a first draft, not a final answer. That keeps your brain engaged. Second, rotate between AI and non-AI tasks. Give yourself space to write, read, or solve problems without assistance. This keeps your cognitive circuits sharp and reminds you that you can still think deeply on your own. Third, treat AI like a calculator, not a replacement brain. It's great for solving equations, but you still need to know how math works. Similarly, AI can help summarize, organize, or brainstorm, but the insight should come from you. Lastly, stay curious. Read, discuss, reflect. The best protection against cognitive decline isn't just avoiding AI, it's nurturing your own ability to think. Because in the end, it's not about what AI can do, it's about what you still choose to do yourself. The study from MIT and Penn is a wake-up call. Not a call to panic, but a call to reflect. We're entering an age where cognitive outsourcing is easy and even encouraged. But what we save in time, we may lose in capability. And if we're not careful, we'll wake up in a world where we can access every answer, but no longer know how to ask the right questions. Thanks for watching Tech on the Mind. If you found this valuable, hit like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might be leaning too hard on their AI assistant. Stay smart, stay engaged, and remember, your brain is still your best tool.